the launch of the third edition of the Agricultural Students Career Guidance and Mentorship Dialogue, popularly known as AgStart, organized by Agrihouse Foundation in collaboration with agricultural stakeholders, took place on the 24th of January 2019.
Good morning, everyone. Partners, our head coach, our head mentor, our head trainer, the media, and then all students, businesses from UDS, Kwadasoa, Swansea, Fair River. I hope everyone is here. And all stakeholders, thank you all for coming in. Good morning again. We are expecting the ambassadors, the consulate, so distinguished reps of all our sponsors, OCP, Agri Development Bank, and our friends from the media. I'm very pleased to have you all here for the launch of the third edition of our annual program, the Agricultural Students Career Guidance and Mentorship Dialogue Bootcamp, AgStart in short. Over the past year since its inception, we have seen this program grow in content and acceptance. And I must assure you all that it is a development that gladdens our hearts. Each year, as it takes us closer and closer to achieving our ultimate goal of popularizing and making career in agriculture acceptable, not just to our Ghanaian youth, but amongst the entire African youth, because agriculture is timeless and futuristic. That is why I am pleased to announce to you that all this year, the government of Serbia is joining us to give the program an added value that will see successful participants in the program receiving scholarship awards to go and study agriculture and related disciplines in Serbia. What does it do? What this does is that it has raised the stakes and added immense value to what our youth will be benefiting henceforth from AgStart. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen of the media, the Agricultural Student Career Guidance and Mentorship Dialogue event is only 2 years old, but has generated so much interest nationally that we are already seeing the greater role it will play in ushering our youth into agriculture as their major career choice. The good news is that we are not stopping only in Ghana. We are taking AgStart's success to the entire African continent. Consequently, 2021 will be an African-focused event. AgStart is an agri-booster and capacity-building bootcamp program entirely designed to empower our resourceful youth in a futuristic way that will feed into Ghana's objective of achieving food security in a no-distant future, while providing sustainable employment. The theme for this year's event is Growing Futures, Establishing the Agri-Youth. Since its inception, AgStart has groomed and transformed over 600 students and beginner agribusinesses as a lucrative path, enables students and beginners to unearth and sharpen their leadership skills and abilities, supported 10 key corporate institutions to identify and engage an outstanding students to serve as interns and or full-time employees, inspired the successful establishment of thriving businesses, the most being the Match Farm business, currently being managed by 6 students we put together as a business team during the 2019 bootcamp. This year, the number of schools participating for the grand prize at the end of the bootcamp has increased to 10. Then we just added Adudome to it. It was 9, but we just added Adudome. The schools already have the business club units up and running at their various institutions with active, up-to-date social media platforms. The participating schools representing their various school businesses will be groomed, coached, and mentored to scale their business operations on campus up. Aside this, a competitive ecosystem will be created to have them compete in the event business challenge segments, from which the winners will receive financial support to expand their businesses. And I might say that during our last meeting with the coach and then our mentor and trainer, they scrapped the elements of competition off. They believe everybody needs to be supported to expand, and that's why we are also excited with the Serbian government and what they seek to achieve. That is not only the team that possibly present a good business plan for expansion, but all the teams will benefit from the Serbian trip to build capacity, more of a TOT arrangement, so that two from each business club will travel, and then when they come, they transfer knowledge to their other business groups. So it's quite welcoming, and then we are creating that system that we want to. The participating schools representing their various businesses. Okay, I think the 4-day program will see in attendance over 600 participants with activities like field trips, mentorship, seminar, training, program capacity building, and then the pitching of their presentations, more of a skill set presentation and competence-based approach. Distinguished members of the media, we wish to acknowledge and appreciate your support from day one. I must confess that without you, we would not have brought this event this far. So we want to say a big thank you to all of you. We appreciate all and hope that all our development-focused programs shall continue to enjoy your support, so that at the end of the day, Ghana will be the better for it. We say a big thank you also to our sponsors, those who have already signed on: OCP, ADB, and possibly Interplus, GIHOC, Cocoa Board, and those who are still expecting to rally round as we thank you all for your support. We thank and extend our encouragement to all the participating students from University of Ghana, University of Energy and Natural Resources, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kwadaso Agri College, University of Development Studies, University of Cape Coast, Fair River Institute, Damango Agri College, Aswanzi Farm Institute, the Northern Regional Hub, and then the just added Adidome Farm Institute. Always remember that you are our pioneers and consequently beating a path for others to follow. Therefore, be strong and remain focused. And very importantly, we wish to acknowledge and thank the Ministry of Food and Agriculture for their unceasing support. They have been strong partners throughout the years to date. Again, thank you.
Partnering institutions encouraged the students and announced their commitments to the initiative at hand.
I bring you warm greetings from the management and staff of OCP Ghana, and also a warm welcome to the official launch of the 2020 Agricultural Students Career Guidance and Mentorship Dialogue Bootcamp. Ladies and gentlemen, I must commend Agrihouse for their consistency, because this is the 3rd year running, yes, in promoting the development of agric in Ghana, and for organizing this youth mentorship program this morning. For us in OCP, today's event is an important milestone, especially in the delivery of OCP's vision of contributing to a sustainable and inclusive agricultural transformation in Ghana, as well as making agriculture very, very attractive. And I want to emphasize on that. Very, very attractive to the youth of Ghana. We in OCP, we do prioritize youth learning, innovation, and development in agriculture. And that is why we are partnering with Agrihouse to launch this edition of the Agricultural Students Career Guidance and Mentorship Dialogue Bootcamp. In line with our support to the youth of Ghana and Africa, OCP launched its Impulse program last year. And this Impulse program is developed by a university that is established by OCP based in Morocco, Bangui, called Mohammed VI Polytechnic University. And this Impulse aims at accelerating startups and active, angry entrepreneurs in the agricultural sector. I was one of the judges, and it has been fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak now, 3 Ghanaian companies, namely Trotro Tractor, Saytech, and Isoko, have been selected and are currently participating in the training and mentorship program in Casablanca, Morocco. They returned last week. The program, which started about 2 weeks ago, includes intensive connections with ecosystem players in Morocco, in Switzerland, in the USA, and best in-class business curriculum and value-added mentoring opportunities. Furthermore, as part of OCP's agriculture programs in Ghana, some 85,000 farmers have benefited from 2 of our flagship programs called AgriBooster Holistic Offer and Farmers School Lab since 2017. And last year, we signed a cooperation agreement with the government of Ghana through the Ministry for Food and Agriculture, and we are doing these 2 projects together. And it is our vision, as a result of this partnership arrangement, to reach over 500,000 farmers in the next 3 years. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, OCP appreciates the friendly environment that has made the launch of this project possible. And we pledge our continued support. Our office is up there. We would invite especially the students to go there and have a look. You know, typically you might think that for agriculturists or people involved in agriculture, everything is, but you get there, you realize that it is not the case. It's a beautiful office, friendly office, nice office where you meet agronomists, agro-engineers, and everybody there. I don't know whether we have the school lab here so that they can also have a look at what is in the mobile laboratory. It's a mobile laboratory. It's a van. It has all the equipment in it. They move from community to community, and they test soils of farms, and they give the test of the result of the analysis in real time to the farmers, and it helps the farmer to know the status of their soils and inform them in the right application of fertilizers. We've done this over the last 2 years, and it has been fantastic. The government has seen the importance of it, and now we have scaled it up together with the Ministry of Agriculture. And also with the AgriBooster, we bring players in a typical value chain, let's say maize or rice or cocoa or whatever, and we bring aggregators, we bring importers, we bring input suppliers, we bring financiers. It's good ADB is here, so that we provide them with everything they need, training, extension, and what have you. And this year we are seeking to target over 100,000 farmers in about 7, 8 regions in Ghana, and it's been fantastic. So we realize that OCP, we are looking at every aspect of agriculture. Our Impulse program is very good. So those of you who are going through this, we hope and pray that you take this one so seriously, so that when we launch the Impulse program next year, you can apply, because you would have been mentored by the trainers and the mentors, so that you can take advantage of it. Because this year we have a cash prize of $250,000 that is going to be given to the winner. And it is good for Ghana because we have 3 startups from Ghana who are taking part, and we are mentoring them, and we hope that, not being biased, but if they win, that will be fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, OCP Africa take this opportunity to wish you well in this journey of helping to transform agriculture, not only in Ghana, but in Africa. Thank you very much.
Students were given the chance to introduce themselves, their initiatives, as well as what they hope to achieve at the end of this training. Partnering institutions encouraged the students and announced their commitments to the initiative at hand. Coaches, mentors, and trainers also shared what students should expect and the importance of absorbing these experiences.
Well, these are too many microphones. So don't give me a fish, but teach me to fish. And that's what Agrihouse has been doing. Well, we have to thank them again and again and again. Alberta has been so active in this sector, and because of her, we are all here today. She's been playing a very active role in the agricultural sector. I mean, I don't remember being in any event related to agriculture without seeing Alberta around with her team. So I think we owe her another thank you and a round of applause for Agrihouse. Of course, all the sponsors are also to be appreciated. They've given not only the money, but their very, very precious time. I mean, the CEO is here, ADB is here, so it's really something to appreciate. I'm Haidar Malhas, the head of the irrigation department of Interplast. I'm an irrigation engineer. I studied 5 years, and I know nothing other than irrigation. When I first graduated, I went to the field. My job was to do a questionnaire, like collect details from the farmers. And I was asking them, which irrigation method do you use? And they were giving me the local names. I didn't understand what they were saying, but I had to write it down just not to show my ignorance. As Mr. Kenneth rightly pointed out, you studied a lot in textbooks, but what happens on site needs a bit of fine-tuning. And this is your very, very good opportunity to learn, to link what you have learned at universities with what's going on site. I know you will give them a lot of wahala, so please be gentle on them. Well, we at Interplast, as Kathy mentioned, as Mrs. Fabi mentioned, we do a lot of piping in general, and we also do irrigation, and that's our main relationship with agriculture. We're happy to support you as much as we can, and as I mentioned, we believe a lot in training. We want you to learn how to do agriculture more in the form of agribusiness rather than the traditional agriculture. It doesn't mean that our parents and grandfathers did it in a wrong way, but it means our time has changed and we need to change our methods. Unless you use good quality fertilizers with irrigation systems, then you cannot move to the next level. Those who are producing, who want to do the ice cream, the melon ice cream, you're in the north, right? And unless you have a good irrigation system, how are you going to maintain your product? How are you going to get melons in the dry season? So it's all linked together. Whether you are a producer, whether you are a processor, whether you are an exporter, you need to move your job or your business into the next level. Adapt to the good techniques. And this is your best opportunity to learn from the professionals. So please make sure you gain as much as possible. And good luck to all the students who are part of this initiative. Thank you.
Good morning to all of us. And for Agreg Development Bank, we are excited to be part of the AgriStart business arrangement. In fact, we have been the leading financier of agriculture in Ghana. We have been in this business since 1964 and counting. Some time ago, we were also students like you are. Today, we found ourselves in industry bringing to bear what we have learned and practiced. For us as ADB, we provide financing for the entire agri value chain, from production through processing, marketing, warehousing, what have you. We believe in the value chain approach to financing, and so we look at it fully from the integrated level. Like I said, we have been the leading financier of agriculture in Ghana. Out of 24 banks, we single-handedly take over 1/3 of the total portfolio to agricultural sector here in Ghana, and we seek to even deepen it further by providing more and supporting viable value chain businesses that are submitted to us for financing. We have over 82 branches across the length and breadth of Ghana, from Boku to Tumu, through Agunang Kwanta to Ho. Everywhere that you approach, you can find an Agri Development Bank branch there. If you don't have an account, please approach the nearest ADB branch, pick a form, and open an account with us. Basically, we have an agricultural division, and it has two major departments. We have agri value chain departments that centers and focuses on the production of all the various crops, from cereals to tree crops. And that is what the agri value chain department focuses. We have the agri services that looks at the post-production level, the marketing, the warehousing, the transportation, and all that. We also have a business support division that also helps in providing financial advisory services and what have you. So I believe that you can't approach anybody than to come to ADB, because we have been in this business for long, and we look forward to having a very fruitful boot camp and coming out with some very good proposals that can be financed. Some time ago, agriculture has been a hobby. Somebody has a backyard garden, and he has maybe 10 or 15 cockerels that he's raising, or a little vegetable farm. But now it's business as usual, and that is the aspect that we need to be looking at. And I think that Agrihouse has got it right by initiating this to help us change our perception about the entire agricultural business in Ghana. We believe that when you look at it from the business perspective, it doesn't only provide food for the country, but it also brings money into your pocket and provides job opportunities for a lot of people. So agribusiness is the way to go, and we believe that you take advantage of this platform and make sure that you have some very good proposals. We at ADB are always there to provide the needed financial support to every viable business to make sure that the agribusiness dream is achieved. Thank you very much.
I'm here representing the Serbian Consul, Mr. Steve Maunyaga. We are not a full-fledged embassy. We are what they call as junior embassies. We don't have a Serbian embassy here. The embassy is in Nigeria. So we do some of the activities that the embassy does here. Mr. Ade, I think you have a perfect choice in him. We've known ourselves for quite some time. And I've seen a few people in Agric. I've worked with a few people in Agric over several years. And I can say, like, my brother here said, who I've also met, I don't think he remembers, but we did something in Australia some time ago. Yes, he'll give you plenty of wahala, but agriculture is wahala. We all farm. I say that if you don't have very solid emotional shock absorbers, don't get into agric. The Serbian government, whom I represent, has a very long heritage in agriculture. But Serbia, as you all know, was part of the former Yugoslavia. During the Soviet Union, it was an agricultural powerhouse. It still is, livestock, etc. And they have the whole value chain, producing all the inputs, all the products that are needed for production, livestock, as well as crops. And through that, they've built very extensive knowledge base for agriculture. Now, one of the things that we find outstanding in this country is this distinction between an agriculturist and a farmer still exists in Ghana. In most parts of the world, normally, when they call you a farmer, especially the young generation, you are basically an agriculturist. And so one of the things the Serbian embassy is, the embassy, but we, the consulate acting on their behalf, is very keen to promote and advance is knowledge transfer. We've been, over the past 2 years, giving out a lot of scholarships, close to 200 scholarships so far. Unfortunately, very little of it went into agriculture. This time it's all going to change. We're going to do it in 2 levels. First, the formal scholarships, and then also the informal attachments, because again, with agriculture, you must experience it. As they say, you must get your feet wet to really understand what agriculture is. We would also have reverse exchange programs so that we can bring people from Serbia to experience what we do here and also learn from them. And finally, we are looking at the possibility of collaborating with some of the agric institutes and upgrading them. We have this concept of the practicing agriculturist, which is basically a farmer. So that is one leg. The other leg is the productive infrastructure for agricultural production. My colleague here on the table will tell you that in most cases, it's not just the financing. The financing must go into an infrastructure space that will make you succeed. As my brother here said, you try and grow crops in the dry season without irrigation, there's no way you can pay the bank. So one of the things the embassy, the consulate is looking at is the possibility of working with certain government agencies. At present, through one of our collaborating local companies, we're doing a lot of work with the Northern Development Authority. Hopefully, we'll also come into the Mid-Belt. And the infrastructure will be based on the agri-park model, where we would try and work to develop productive agriculture infrastructure, where some of you, the future practicing agriculturists, can actually go and practice your trade with all the resources that you need there. Some will go there as producers, some will go there as service providers, some will go there as supporting marketing and other agribusiness activities. But perhaps most important of all these 3 legs is the human being. And this is where we are very excited with what Agrihouse is doing, because taking somebody who's done agriculture from, as Mr. Ade would say, the classroom stage to really becoming a farmer is a big jump. So in that regard, what we are looking at is the sort of partnership with Agrihouse, so that they would feed whatever systems we put in place by way of infrastructure, etc., with the human capacity. Knowing agriculture is not enough. You must have a passion for it. You must have a passion to succeed. I started out more or less as a pig farmer. And any time when my sows are furrowing, I normally sleep in the pens with them. And there was a passion about seeing all your hard work for 3 months, almost 4 months, yielding fruits. The same with crop farmers. I do crop farming, and you want to walk your field, look at the crop. You look at it as somebody who said, a farmer looks at his production as his or her children. That cannot be taught in a school. That can only be taught by people like Mr. Ade and in the field. And those of you who would have the opportunity to work in greenhouses, you would really feel this passion as you go into the greenhouse and look at your crops and what is happening. And I would urge all of you, it's not going to be easy. Any agriculturist that has not fallen down before cannot claim to be an agriculturist. I would like to assure you, and this is coming from my the Honorary Council, that whatever we can do to make this vision become fulfilled, we will do our best. And we'll work with all the players, not only Agrihouse, so that in the ensuing months and years, we would also be able to say that we've been able to create probably hundreds of the new generation of agriculturists. I won't call them farmers, agriculturists, or if you want, practicing agriculturists. That would help transform our agriculture the way we want to see it done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
The Agricultural Students Career Guidance and Mentorship Dialogue will take place from 10th to 13th March 2020 at the Coconut Grove Hotel, Sakumono, Accra. So what's the rationale behind this bootcamp?
Basically, the idea is to grow futures when it comes to the agribusiness sector and then establish and enable them. Over the years, we've realized that there's been a lot going on. Everybody is supporting to grow the youth when it comes to agriculture, and we felt that we had a key role to play in implementing a practical structure where we bring the students together, not to compete, but to enable them to establish businesses, even whilst in school, and then for them to think business, basically to grow the next future leaders, because that is what we need. We don't only need businesses, but we need leaders. So we want to try to combine the two together during the bootcamp. So it's more of an agri-booster platform where we combine business and leadership together and group them to think agribusiness and groom them to have a business mindset.
So who can join this initiative? Is it open to just agricultural students, or it's open to all?
Everyone is part of it. What we do is the whole idea is for you to have a business idea with a team, because we believe that in also operating as a business is not a one-man thing. You need a team. And that is why over the last year when we started, we were just bringing them together. Now we've reached a point of scaling up where we are establishing them as businesses. And they are all encouraged to bring a business plan, not really a business plan, but a business idea, where we will groom them to and enable them to establish during the bootcamp. So when we started this 3 years ago, they were just students from coming together from all over the agri colleges and the universities. Now we've reached the stage of scaling it up, and we need to empower them through adapting of through adoption of the requisite soft skills training or competence-based training approach so that they can be enabled to further go forward.
So we are giving you a chance to call on the African youth, not just in Ghana, to join this initiative the next time so that they can also be empowered in terms of agribusiness.
I'm happy about what went on today. We saw all the students coming in from all the colleges and all the universities. They are businesses. They are not students anymore. We are happy that ADB, as a financial institution, is supporting them, giving them that financial backup to also open bank accounts and then be able to manage their finances and grow. We are also happy with OCP, Interplus, GIHOC, and all that they are doing. And the future of AgStart is to go Africa. We are hoping to do that within the next 2 to 3 years, to go to other African countries, for them to be part of this Bootcamp, and then to be enabled and to be established. We are also very excited with the commitment by the Serbian Council, who are coming on board, not only to support maybe a team with a great idea, but everyone. So if you are part of the bootcamp, then automatically you are part of an educational and empowering trip to Serbia to learn more, build your capacity, enable you, and come back to support, grow your business. We are hoping that at the end of the day, we are leaving the bootcamp, and then we are committed to a course that is not only establishing business but grooming leaders. And so we are calling on everyone. In the future, you can call on us, but in the future, we are coming to your country to speak more about the project, the impact that we've made, the businesses that we've so far established, and how we can together join forces to scale agriculture up.
Okay, how transformative and timely do you think this initiative is in pulling the youth towards agriculture?
You know, it is just the beginning. And normally these things will take time because it is something like an incubator project. And so it is talking about mentorship, it's talking about training, it's talking about coaching. And so we'll be able to see the impact probably over a 3-year period. But it is so important to start. It is so important to give them this training. It is so important to bring them together and coach them and direct them in terms of what is it that they have to do to be able to start their businesses. Because we are looking at a situation where our students, after graduating from the university, will not depend upon government for employment, but they themselves will start their own business. And so this is actually guiding them, coaching them, giving them the necessary tools of business, of decision making, of creative thinking, of analysis, okay, so that they will be able to start their business. And so they need this kind of support, and these things must necessarily be started so that we'll be able to pull this critical mass of youth for them to be able to enter into agribusiness.
And how committed is OCP in this initiative?
We are very, very committed. Like I mentioned earlier on, OCP has a project called Impulse. And Impulse is also a mentorship program for startups. And it is organized, or it is done by a university that is established by OCP called UM6P, Mohammed VI Polytechnic University in Morocco. So with what Agrihouse is doing, they will start with the basics. And then after the period, we would ask this cohort to apply for the Impulse. And then when they qualify, then we'll give them that scale-up training, because that is more global. That is more where they will pitch with startups from all over the world. And this year, we received applications from thousands of startups. And we have done the screening, and now we have gotten 16 startups. And fortunately for Ghana, 3 out of these 16 are coming from Ghana. And they are going to compete, and the cash prize is $250,000. And so that tells you precisely. And so this is good for these university students, and it is good that we start. That's why we want to partner with Agrihouse, so that right from the word go, they can become part of this process.
So you mentioned that there are criteria that you follow in order to select some of these startups. Can you mention some of them so that the other people who are going to apply next year can know how and...
That will be to preempt it because it is a competition. Yes.
I am Upon Joseph, a student from K University and the general manager for Asta K University.
Is this your first time joining this initiative?
Yes, please. This is my first time.
And how did you hear about this?
Okay, so basically, I heard when they came to K University to launch on the 30th of November. That's last year. That was where I also had interested in this whole program or whole activity.
So what do you hope to take out of this program?
Okay, my expectations are so great because I believe that this program can enhance my practical skills in terms of agriculture. And so I believe that from here, I can also gain experience in the agri sector and not only in the classroom.
Are you already into agribusiness?
Yes, please.
So what's do you specialize?
Okay. I particularly also I'm dealing with mushrooms. And so with the mushroom business, it's now thriving and everyone is moving into the business. So I'll then also encourage the other youth to also delve into it for it's very profitable.
I am Benam Solomon, a student of Agrihouse Agriculture College and also the managing director of Accra KEC Business Club.
Is this your first time in joining this organization?
Yes, please.
And what do you hope to take out of it?
I want to be empowered. Since infancy, my passion has been agriculture, and I think now I have the opportunity to be part of the most fantastic group, and I want to be empowered to be able to establish after school.
Are you already into agribusiness?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. And how did you hear about this organization?
Okay, for the past years, Agrihouse Foundation has been a partner of our school. They've been actually coming to our school, but we did not win in the previous competitions, so we've not yet established a project on our own. But this year, we are going to establish one.
I'm Akuma Emmanuel, and I'm from University of Energy and Natural Resources.
So how did you hear about this initiative?
Okay, thank you for the question. On last year, November, Agrihouse Foundation came to our school and launched it, so we were registered in this year's program.
So what do you expect to get out of this training and bootcamp?
Well, this year's program, we expect many things. We want it to be interesting and more educative, so that it will be in the heart of the participant for years to come.
Thank you very much for your time. And after you're done with the bootcamp, we'll come and interview you again on what you've been able to learn and how you're going to use it to transform agriculture in Ghana.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.